Obsession is proudly supported by Carly and Draggy. Check out the video description to find out the latest discount codes. Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another point of view review. This time you join me with the brand new second generation Kia Niro Hybrid. I think it's quite a good looking car. I think the styling will be divisive for a lot of you, but yeah, in my humble opinion, I think it is a smart looking jam jar. That's a Cockney rhyming slang for car. I'll quickly show you the back. Whilst I'm here, let me show you the boot, which as always is filled with my filming crap. It has 451 litres, which is 15 more than before because the battery, the 12 watt battery, which used to live around here, has now been moved underneath the rear seats along with the main battery for the hybrid system. Anyway, you didn't come here for me to walk around the car. That's why I do walk around videos. You came here because you want to see me drive the car, point of view styling. Right, just a quick one. I am suffering quite bad with hay fever today, so I may be a bit bunged up and I will have some difficulty speaking. And my eyes are extremely itchy. I want to gouge them out with a rusty spoon. Right, let's turn the aircon down. It is very hot in the UK today. 27 degrees at the moment. Right, but again, you came here for the point of view, not for a weather report. Right, are we good to go? Indeed we are. Do that so you can get to see the touchscreen. So the hybrid is powered by a 1.6 litre naturally aspirated petrol, which is aided by a 32 kilowatt electric motor. Together they produce 141 horsepower along with 265 newton meters of torque. Move, Blackbird, move! Silly Blackbird. End up with a pie. If you want that torque figure in pound-feet, I will drop a subtitle below. Now, I'm sure many of you aren't too concerned about performance, but in case you are, this will hit 62 miles per hour in 10.8 seconds, and the top speed is 100 miles per hour. But if you drive the car in EV only mode, the top speed is 74. Now, the battery in this is a 1.32 kilowatt hour battery, if I'm not mistaken. As you may have seen, the car's gone into EV only mode. Now, this is something called green zone drive mode, or I may have got the name slightly wrong. So in essence, the car is able to use your driving patterns and information from the navigation to detect where hospitals and schools are and other areas. Oh wow, that is stunning. I do hope you can see that. That is, I think that's an MGA. Oh, listen to that. A car of the future going past a car of the past. A bit poetic, really. Right, yes, anyway, onto the green zone drive mode. So when you're passing places such as schools or hospitals, the engine will be shut off and the car will go into EV only mode to reduce, to stop emissions coming out of the car, which is good. You can actually manually input your own green zones if there's any particular areas where you don't want the engine to be running. As long as there's enough charge in the battery, it will go into EV only mode. Now, if you go for the plug-in hybrid, that can be driven on EV only for up to 40 miles. And if you go for the full-on EV, that has a range, I believe, 285 miles. I am doing that from memory, so I could be mistaken. Excuse me, sorry, hay fever. Onto fuel economy. On a combined run, this is the 3 trim level, by the way, so this is available in 3 trim levels, 2, 3 and 4, so I've got the mid-range version. For this version, on a combined run, Kia states you can expect up to 61.4 mpg and CO2 emissions are 105 grams per kilometre, meaning for the first year of VED, you'd be required to pay £175. Now, if you're looking to have this as a fleet car, the EV has a BIK rating of 2%. The plug-in hybrid has a BIK rating of 8%, and this, I believe, is 26%. I'm now having difficulty breathing, so I will shut up for a bit and let you experience the car. Oh, sorry. Oh, that GTI is not going to wait for me. Sounds pretty good though. Not a massive fan of the Mark IVs, but never mind. The engine is mated to a 6-speed DCT, which has been tweaked to be more efficient, and it has been reduced in weight. Actually, the 1.6 engine has also been tweaked. The cooling properties have been improved, as have friction and combustion technologies, which, to put it into simple terms, yeah, overall just means the engine is more efficient, which is a good thing because you get more performance and more economy. Now, for those of you looking to buy this on finance, actually, I haven't gone through the pricing. So the base model, the 2, is a little under £29,000. This is £31,545, but as an option, I do have the steel grey paintwork, which is £595, and the range topping 4 is a little over £34,000. But let's say, for example, you wanted to finance a 4 on a 36-month contract, PCP contract, with a deposit of £5,000 with dealer contribution of £1,000, APR of 7.9% per month. You're looking to pay around £470. Now, of course, that is a representative example that I worked out on Kia's website. If you go for a lower spec model and put down a higher deposit, of course, your monthly payments will be less. Insurance groups. This is in Insurance Group 21, as is the 4 trim level. If you go for the 2 trim level, that is actually in Insurance Group 20, so slightly cheaper to insure. The Niro Hybrid is a comfortable car. The damping is softly sprung, which means it's pleasant to drive, but it isn't engaging. It isn't very dynamic. In the corners, it's competent. It's relatively sure-footed, but yeah, if you're looking for an engaging family SUV, you may want to look elsewhere. But it's not a bad car to drive. It's just a little bit, dare I say, boring? Is that harsh? Well, that's merely my opinion. Some of you may disagree. The 6-speed DCT works well enough. Not the most seamless of changes, but seamless enough. The changes between gears aren't jerky. You do find they're a bit more noticeable when the engine is put under load, but when you're driving it normally, yeah, you shouldn't really notice any complaints with the DCT. You do have a choice of driving mode, so you have Eco, which I have it in now, or you do have a Sport mode, which I would argue in a car like this is kind of pointless because, yeah, I wouldn't say it's particularly dynamic in the slightest. So let me just get myself readjusted. As you can see, there is a digital display in front of me, and I've got a 10.25 inch touchscreen to my left hand side. If you go for the base model 2, you get an 8 inch touchscreen, I believe. You also get this handy panel down here, which can be changed to either have shortcuts for the touchscreen or your climate control functions. I would prefer to have physical controls, but it works well enough and it's pretty easy to use on the move, so yeah, I've got no complaints there. Now, I will say the brakes in this car do feel rather numb, very numb in fact. The feedback through the pedal doesn't really give you an idea, or a great idea, of what's going on. And the first time I drove this car, I didn't realise that you need to apply as much pressure as you do through the brake pedal. It is a little bit disconcerting. Yeah, the brakes do need a firm push on the pedal to really get the speed to scrub off. They're not dangerous, don't get me wrong, but yeah, they're just numb. But to be fair, I've had this same complaint with quite a few hybrids or EVs, so yeah, nothing new here if I'm going to be honest. Other features I get as standard. The only option on this car, by the way, is the paint. I've got heated front seats, which on a day like today I simply don't need. Heated steering wheel, front and rear parking sensors. I've got a whole host of safety equipment, reversing camera, dual zone climate control, and a few other bits and bobs that I may have forgotten. Of course, you've got navigation and smartphone connectivity, almost goes without saying. And with this being a Kia, you get a 7-year warranty as standard as well, for peace of mind. Kia has stated that tweaks have been made to the steering to make it feel a bit more natural, and yeah, the steering feels okay. It'd be nice and light, easy to manoeuvre around town. But yeah, if you're looking for something that's offering communication, you're not really going to get it. But to be fair, this is meant to be a sensible, practical family SUV. This is not a driver's car, so yeah, I should really leave some of my complaints at the door. But on the same hand, I do need to be honest as well. I have driven other SUVs, and just because it's a family SUV doesn't mean that it has to be boring to drive. But I'm afraid Kia, the Niro Hybrid is it is a bit boring to drive. Pleasant. This is a nice place to be. It's comfortable. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure for quite a few motorway miles this will be a good companion. But yeah, to drive, it is a bit bland. I'm really sorry, Kia, but those are merely my honest thoughts. But like I say, through the corners, it does a decent enough job. Well, I'm not going to go on for too much longer because A, I need to get home, and B, yeah, my hay fever is really starting to get bad now because we are approaching the evening, and yeah, it's going to get to a point where I'm just going to be a bunged up, mumbly mess, and you won't be able to understand anything I'm saying. So yeah, go for a little bit longer, and then we shall wrap up. Now, I spoke about fuel economy earlier. What have I been getting in my experience? Well, as you may be able to see on the trip computer, whilst I've had the car, I've been getting low 40s, which, bearing in mind that I should be getting low 60s, isn't overly impressive. One thing I will say though, in this car's defence, I drove this around town the other night, albeit with minimal to no traffic, and I was able to get low 70s, which I thought was very impressive. Of course, that's helped out by the fact that when you're driving around town, it slips into the EV mode more often. On my drive to my filming location here, which is mostly A roads, I got around 49 mpg. I've just realised I'm still in sport mode. Yeah, this is a car where I would argue you don't need a sport mode. It's redundant. Some of you may enjoy it and may use it, but yeah, I've never really had an urge to use it. I do find it interesting you don't get a normal mode. You normally get eco, sport and normal, but no, I've just got eco and sport. Unusual. Got it to EV only. You don't really notice the switch between EV and engine. Yes, the 1.6 engine can be a bit boomy when you really put your foot down, but if you drive it sensibly, then most of the time you won't really hear or notice the engine. The only time you really notice it is when it goes from EV to engine mode and you get a slight rasp from the engine note, and then it just settles down. There was one review I read which said that they found the engine note to be raucous. I would disagree, but I've got sneeze coming, so bear with me. Oh, really bad time to sneeze. No, it's gone. Don't you hate it when you feel the need to sneeze and it just doesn't come? Annoying. Right. I'm getting more and more bunged up by the second, so it's time for me to end. As always, well, as is normally the way, you get a lovely view of the South Downs to finish off with. And on a day like today, it is looking beautiful. Anyway, I do hope you have enjoyed this video despite my bunged up delivery. If you have enjoyed it or found it useful, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, be sure to keep up the car obsession.